two questions, one about the casting process and then about the reception of the actors in the community who participated in the film, how it's been received.
We approached the casting of this film more or less the same way we approached the casting of the last one and all of the casting of all the shorter films we had done over the last 20-odd years, which is the first and most important decision is that we're still only casting any of our films from our local community. So that makes it a lot simpler. We're not auditioning people from all over the world. We don't have to worry if there's some fantastic actor in Alaska or Siberia and then go out and find them. We got 1,200 people, half of them are children, so you're down to about 600 adults. And you know everybody. And so a lot of people who are in our film have been in our films for years and years and years. Children grew up in our films. There are young adults in our films who were babies in our earliest films. And the only major actor in this film who is new, first time, was the young female lead, Leah Abutimler, who plays Apak. And she had never been in any of the films before. But everybody else had played other roles in Atanajuat, and many of them had played roles in the TV series, the Nunavut series we had done before. So we knew what people can do, and we know who can do what we want, and we, I think, made some choices deliberately, sort of perversely against type. So we decided the last time the hero would this time be sort of the bad guy, and the last time the bad guy would this time be a good guy. But it's a very organic process when you're really committed to community-based filmmaking, whether it's an ideology or whether it's just a discipline of convenience. You choose. Anybody could pick that. Anybody could say, I'm just make films in whoever lives in Indianapolis, and work like that. Artists make discipline choices, and ours is a community choice. So then we, but now we know everybody very well. I mean, Sack, I think, had everybody cast in his mind before we even started casting. I mean, all of his first choices ended up being the ones we picked. So he knew who we wanted.
And after it was finished, we screened it in the community for the cast and crew and friends, which is basically the whole community. Well, it was very, very well received. Clapping, shake my hand. We started to think maybe we did our job again.
Everybody who worked on the film is related to everybody who's in the film. People are acting out their great-grandparents or, their cousins, so there's a tremendous amount of emotion when you actually see somebody on the screen who's dead. They're dead, but they're not dead. I mean, first of all, they're not dead because maybe you're named after that person, and in that culture, if you're named after that person's actually living in you. You are that person. So in that sense, everybody knows people are not dead. There's a quote from Awa in the journals that's not in the film where he says, "It is unthinkable to us, it is unimaginable that life ends when the body dies." So Inuit don't believe life ends when the body dies. And then, to put people on the screen who are both fictional and non-fictional in that kind of way and be played, by people who, whether you want to call them professional or not professional, that's all a sort of industry vocabulary. The truth is our actors are fantastic, whatever you want to call them. Be played in such a convincing way is a very powerful experience. So you've got a room full of 500 people looking at a dead great-grandparent on the screen come alive. saying things that you know have been forbidden for 85 years. And those words kind of resonating in your head. You know, and they're the exact words. I mean, all his monologue is direct quote. We let the guy speak for himself. So Pakakanuksuk, who is the actor, who is a relative of Awa, speaks Awa's own words as Knud Rasmussen wrote them down 85 years ago, and nobody ever said them since. Well, when you're sitting there in the dark and the guy says them, that's a pretty heavy experience. So we know that the films we make, you know, we make them for an audience that engages them on a very profound level compared to how most of the world deals with most movies.